Hello, SEDA College, Facebook, online, SEDA Online world. It's your friendly teacher, Lydia, here again to teach you about some Christmas-related vocabulary. So first I'm going to start with two things that students often have mistakes with, because if you read them the way they're written, it doesn't help you at all. Thanks, English. So what we're going to do is learn how to pronounce them properly. So this thing, you usually see it on people's front door to decorate their house during Christmas. It's made of usually a green tree-like material, and then there's a big red thing here. So this thing is called a bow. Bow. B and then O. Bow. You can have a beautiful bow in your hair, maybe especially little girls, right? Or we can do a bow on a wreath or on a nice gift, a present. We'll have a bow at the top. Okay? So that's a great important word for you to have. And phonemically, it's B and then O, vowel sound, bow. Here, this part, the green part, the circle is called a wreath. W-R-E-A-T-H. But because English loves to be crazy, you don't pronounce the W. The W is silent. Okay? So we're going to pronounce it R-E-Th. Wreath. Or wreath. Whichever way helps you. And this is the TH sound where you want to feel air coming out. So th, wreath, wreath. Very good. Okay. So the other one we have here is this guy. And sometimes I hear students calling it a sock, which is understandable because it looks like a sock. And originally it would have been a type of sock. Long time ago when this tradition started, you put near your fire in the house, the sock. But really we call it a stocking. A stocking. S-T-O-C-K-I-N-G. Stocking. Stocking. And sometimes you hear a word for different presents you can buy, and they're called stocking stuffers. Because to stuff means to push inside, to put a lot of things inside something. So the stockings are usually stuffed with little toys and little presents, chocolate, fruit, things like that. So in shops, they say good stocking stuffers. Things that are good to buy to put inside the stocking. Okay? So those are some typical things that you see around. You know the Christmas tree, and you probably know Santa Claus. But did you know that he has 3 different names? Yeah, he does. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Why can't you just have one name? Because English is crazy. Okay, so his 3 different names are Santa Claus, okay? Also, Mr. Claus sometimes, because he has a Mrs. Claus, so that's important, Mr. and Mrs., he, she. And Saint Nicholas, or Saint Nick. This is because Santa Claus, our idea of Santa Claus, comes from an original saint, Saint Nicholas, who was a giving saint who helped a lot of people. So we kind of changed that into Santa Claus, and it merged with German traditions to make the Santa that we know today, in the red suit with the hat and going down the chimney. Okay? So you might hear Santa Claus, Mr. Claus, Saint Nicholas, Saint Nick, many of those different names in Christmas songs. Okay? All right. So another thing I wanted to tell you about is a tradition that we do in the English-speaking world, which I think is not common in other parts of the world. At Christmas time, we love to send people Christmas cards. Christmas cards. And send is the verb we use to put them through the post. So we send Christmas cards. Look kind of like this, right? Like that, and it's got a Christmas tree on it or something. And it says Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas, and you send them to your friends and family. Even though we have email today and all kinds of things like that, many people still send a physical Christmas card because it's a nice way to show people that you remember them and that you're thinking about them on Christmas. All right, another thing I wanted to tell you about was a character. He's a character in films. In particular, the film A Christmas Carol. Which is based on a book by Charles Dickens, or a play. The main character in this story is a mean old man who's very cheap. He doesn't like to spend his money. He's greedy. He keeps it all to himself. And his name is Scrooge. Scrooge. And it's very important that you know how to say his name properly, because we use that word just as a term now for people who don't like to share and don't like to help other people or be generous. You can say that guy's a Scrooge. So it's like this, Scrooge, but if we're going to pronounce it, it's Scrooge. 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 A Scrooge. So that is a person who does not like to help other people. And it comes from this character in Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Alrighty. So moving right along, another thing that we hear all the time at Christmas is a famous song. And I'm sure you know the song. But the thing is, sometimes people have trouble pronouncing the words to this song, okay? The song is Jingle Bells. So what does that mean really, jingle bells? Well, a bell is like a little instrument, right? Made of metal. And when the bell moves, that is the verb to jingle, to move and make the sound. So when you sing this song, you say jingle bells, jingle bells. It's about taking a journey or taking a trip in a sleigh. And a sleigh looks like this. It's the same thing that Santa rides in. However, a long time ago, people used to use these for transportation in the snow. There was no other transportation. It was a sleigh, pronounced sleigh, okay, sleigh, S-sleigh, sleigh. A sleigh was your only form of transportation in the snow before cars, you know? So it was a horse and a sleigh, or many horses. So the Jingle Bells song is talking about being in the sleigh and seeing the horses in front of you with bells on them, jingling around because they're running to get you to your destination. So the song goes, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. So this is an open sleigh. It has no roof. And it has one horse pulling it in the song. So that's what we're talking about. A journey or a ride in a sleigh. That's what Jingle Bells is all about. So there you go, sleigh. Very important word. Okay, one more thing, guys. I think is really gonna help you around Christmas time is to know what this thing is. It's really popular sweets or candy at Christmas time. And I haven't drawn one of these since I was in school, so forgive me, I'm not a good artist. But it's always red and white like this. Sometimes there's green too. But this is the typical candy cane. Candy cane. That's what this is. And when I was a little girl, on our Christmas tree, we would have white lights, and the candy canes perfectly fit on the different arms or boughs of the tree. So we'd decorate the tree with the candy canes, and then on Christmas we were allowed to take them off and eat them. So it's a fun tradition. All right, guys, that's some Christmas vocabulary for you. One more thing before I go. You know how Santa has those guys that help him fly in his sleigh? They're a type of deer, right? But they're not just any deer. They're reindeer, like rain. That's how we pronounce it, but not how it's spelled. Thanks, English. So those are reindeer. Just like rain falls from the sky, and then deer. Okay? But that's the special animal that helps Santa fly around the world and give everybody presents. So I hope you guys were really good this year and you deserve really great presents. Keep practicing your pronunciation, and I'm sure that Santa Claus will be to you. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate, joy to the world, and Happy New Year from Lydia here at SEDA College.